I got to make Junior as a carved out piece of wood that fell on the ground, and the key element was making the piece of wood big enough for Junior, but also making the shapes and the paint job on Junior. I wanted it to look like it was hand painted, so little bits and pieces of wood show through. So so we know it's Junior, but we also know that it's not like the vegetable Junior. He's not a real vegetable yet.
And just to get the idea that too, I mean, I look back at like Wizard of Oz with Lunt as the scarecrow and Paw Grape as the lion. That idea that we could actually paint their surfaces and kind of get this texture on them, but still kind of definitely have the same flavor and the same movement of the original character. And then it was fun. So he just has a nice wood feel, and even in sound effects, Adam Frick, who did the sound design for the show, with Pistachio's hops, they're a little more wooden sounding as he hops around. So it kind of just gives him that a little bit of that flavor, which is great.
Okay, so this time around we actually wanted to go for a more conventional looking take on the gelato character, and one of my first drawings was just we want to keep our costumes simple, and we first started added hair back on to our characters way back when we actually did the
that was Schoolhouse Polka.
The Schoolhouse Polka. So that was the first time I actually drew a mop of hair on Larry, and everybody was just like, oh, that can work. So hey, if we're painting Junior, we might as well put a mop of hair on Larry again. And I actually added that little hammer on the side, which I never thought of originally, but we actually used it as a staging element for
Cricket. Yeah, so Khalil, it's a great place for Khalil to stand. So as he rides around with gelato, let's call the whole thing off. As he rides around with gelato, he just kind of hangs onto that mallet. So, but it's great because he just has a nice Italian sort of old world feel, and just a kindly father feel is what we were going for this character. So Joe did a great job pulling that off.
He's back!
Hey, it's our friend Khalil. So he plays the role of Cricket, which, in the original book was an actual cricket, but, we don't have an actual veggie cricket, and we just thought it'd be really fun to take the character of Khalil. There's so many parallels between Pinocchio and Jonah that we thought it would really be, since we've already done Jonah, it'd be kind of fun to pull on those. And one of those with... obviously there wasn't a cricket in Jonah, but the character of Khalil was in Jonah, so we wanted to pull him into Pinocchio, into Pistachio, and give him sort of an Italian, just sort of a 19th century Italian feel.
I know it's not really hard to make this guy look Italian. He's already got that beautiful mustache, and all you got to do is put that cool Italian cap on him, and voila,
there you
instant
go.
Italian.
So here are the ducks, and the ducks are really cool. We wanted to play off a parallel between the story of Pistachio and the parable of the lost sheep. And we needed to give Gelato some other children to attend. And Chuck Vollmer originally came up with the idea of, hey, what about ducks? So Chuck actually had a couple of ducks out in his land. Chuck is also a concept artist on Pistachio, and he had a couple of pet ducks, which were super, super cute.
When I did the final design on it, I thought, well, what would be kind of cute is to kind of go back to VeggieTales roots and King George and the Ducky. It was half based on one of Chuck's drawings, and then the other part of it, especially how I was handling the eyes and stuff like that, I wanted to kind of have a little throwback to what if one of those ducks actually walked around.
And here is the fox. Of course, this is one of the main bad guys in the regular story of Pinocchio. And, our Scallion characters are always sort of are good stand-in bad guys. And, using one of them as a fox is much easier than modeling a whole new fox. So, Joe just took a stab at, designing him as the fox and the cat with two of our Scallion characters.
Yeah, one of the things that we've done a lot of times just to make our characters take on like an animal look or something is, as if they went to a costume store and they, he has a strap like tied around his nose that makes it look like a fox's nose and just the basic costume and probably a tail that's probably attached by some tape or something like that behind him. So it just kind of it's kind of a fun way of drawing a character because all of our characters are essentially, they all know they're on stage.
Sure. So, we can take a real stage play feel to it. So, just put them in a costume. We don't have to really think that they're a real fox, but, hey, here's this scallion dressed up like a fox playing this part, and it does great. And the fun thing about this, too, which is what the animators added a really nice touch to, they actually animated his tail.
Cool.
And it just has a really nice flow to it and overlap, and it just really adds to the characterization of him. So, initially we were thinking of it just as a straight costume, kind of static tail, but we were able to get a lot of acting out of it, which is really, really cool. These are Gelato's brothers. On the left we have Milano, in the middle is Espresso, on the right is Dorito. And these guys are just hilarious in the show. We wanted to, give just in the backstory of Gelato, kind of telling about where his brothers went when he was younger, and give him a reason to meet up with his brothers later in the whale. But Joe, you drew these three characters as his brothers, and it was just immediately oh yeah, we got to do that. We had brought Larry had introduced his three brothers to Bob in a previous episode, but they had been designed. We didn't have really any design budget for them, and they had been done really quickly, so they were basically just different versions of Larry. So it was really great to go back and just have that real character design with these guys.